Congratulations on your acceptance to SUNY Maritime College. My name is Lloyd Bastani, and I'm the college's International Student Coordinator. I will be assisting you throughout the visa process, in addition to supporting and advising you following your arrival to campus. As international students, to enter the US and remain as a student, you need to arrive on a F1 or J1 visa. These educational visas allow you to enter the United States as a full-time student. Your visa is essentially your ticket into the country. You're able to leave and re-enter the United States as long as you have a valid passport and visa. By following all rules and regulations, you will be classified as in status and free to continue your education program on SUNY Maritime's campus. While at SUNY Maritime, maintaining your visa status is your responsibility, though myself and International Student Services are always available to advise you if you have any questions. Now that you've been accepted to SUNY Maritime College, if you have not already done so, you can begin the process of obtaining your visa. I will be explaining the following steps in further detail later on in this video. If you have not yet begun the process of applying for your visa, I highly recommend that you do so as soon as possible. It often takes time to arrange a visa interview at a consulate or embassy, and those locations can grow very busy over the summer months. To obtain your visa, you will first need to get your I-20 form, which is issued by SUNY Maritime College, and pay the CVIS fee. You will then complete a visa application and arrange an interview with your closest US consulate or embassy. After being approved, you will be granted your visa. After you are accepted, I send you an email containing SUNY Maritime College's I-20 application. The I-20 form is an important immigration document that is necessary to get your visa. It also must be presented to Customs and Immigration every time you enter the United States. Once your application has been completed with all supporting documentation, I will send you your I-20 form. One of the most important aspects of the I-20 application is providing documentation to prove that you or a sponsor can afford to cover at least one academic year at SUNY Maritime College. Please note that supporting financial documentation must come from a bank, preferably on their letterhead with the amount listed in US dollars. The amount you will need to show proof of varies by program and is displayed within the I-20 application. After submitting the application and providing all supporting documents, we will send you your I-20 form. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we may be issuing your I-20 form via email with an electronic signature. After receiving your I-20 form, you can begin the process of applying directly to get your visa. Once you have your I-20 form in your possession, you will first use the information on the form to pay your I-901 CVIS fee. This activates your immigration record in CVIS, the Student and Exchange Visitor Information System, the government system that stores data on all international students in the United States. You will need your CVIS ID number, which is located on your I-20, as well as your passport information. The CVIS fee is paid directly through the Department of Homeland Security's website, and you will be provided with a receipt of payment. Please note that students with a country of citizenship or country of birth from Cameroon, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, or Gambia must pay by money order, Western Union Quick Pay, or certified check drawn from a US bank. Once the fee has been paid, you will then complete an F1 visa application form, also known as a DS-160, and arrange a visa interview at your closest US consulate or embassy. Applying for an F1 student visa may vary depending on the US embassy or consulate you are dealing with in your home country. Please note that you will be required to pay a non-refundable visa application fee as well to arrange your interview. This fee is separate from the I-901 CVIS fee. It is important that you bring the receipt of your I-901 CVIS fee payment to your visa interview, along with your I-20, SUNY Maritime acceptance letter, valid passport, and passport-sized photos. After the interview, if approved, you will be granted an F1 visa that the embassy or consulate will place directly into your passport. This visa will take up a whole page of your passport, so please make sure you have room in your passport prior to your interview. Once you have obtained your visa, you can book travel to New York. What happens if you can't get your visa on time? There are a few options that you have if you find yourself in this situation. In some countries, it is currently very difficult to arrange a visa interview before the start of school. For students in our regimental U.S. Coast Guard license programs, your courses will begin with the INDOC program that starts on August 17th. For all other incoming students, classes will begin on August 29th. You can apply for an emergency visa appointment request with your local consulate or embassy. However, you must have a regular visa interview appointment scheduled first. So even if the earliest appointment you can get is as far away as 2023, schedule it anyway. You cannot apply for an emergency appointment without an interview date in place already. Once you have an interview date scheduled, you can then apply for the emergency visa appointment directly through the consulate or embassy's website. I will provide you with a letter of support that will be required for this process. After evaluating your request, the embassy will make its decision and you will hopefully be granted the emergency appointment prior to your program start date. Please note that, like your visa application, an emergency appointment request is not guaranteed. However, it is the best option available to you if you cannot arrange a visa interview before you are scheduled to start school at SUNY Maritime. If you are unable to obtain a visa interview in time for any reason, you do have an additional option. All students can defer their acceptance by up to a year and a half, meaning you can change your start date from August 2022 to the next semester, which begins in January 2023, or the following academic year, which will begin in August of 2023. If you decide to defer your start date, I can change the start date on your I-20 form to reflect your new start date, and you can continue to apply for your F1 or J1 visa with more time to do so before you're scheduled to start classes. Graduate students also have the additional option of taking online classes over the fall 2022 semester before continuing their program in person in January 2023. That way, graduate students can get started on their studies. Unfortunately, this option is not available to our undergraduate students, as our bachelor's degrees are only offered in person. A mandatory international student orientation is usually held during the first week of classes. Speaking of your arrival, I know that you are excited to book your flights to New York. However, we do ask that you wait until you have your visa in your possession before making any travel arrangements. Given the current state of the airline industry and the various travel restrictions that are currently in place, and also considering rules that might be put in place in the future, we highly recommend that you purchase trip or travel insurance to make sure you are not negatively affected by any future events. Being an international student in a different country can be difficult. Homesickness, culture shock, and language barriers are a part of most international students' experiences here in the US. Like any new situation, adjusting to your life at SUNY Maritime College will take time. International students at SUNY Maritime have a variety of resources available to them to help them through this adjustment period to life in the US. Getting involved in the student community is a great way to make new friends and have a rewarding experience at SUNY Maritime College. The college has over 60 different clubs and organizations. Additionally, there are athletic teams you can try out for. SUNY Maritime is known for its amazing sailing team, which is always open to international students, regardless of their experience level. Additionally, the Division of Student Affairs, located in Bayless Hall, is always on hand to support you if you are struggling with any aspect of your experience on campus, or if you're simply looking for advice. Student Affairs offers academic advising, mental health counseling, and an advisor specifically for international students. The International Student Organization is one of the many clubs on campus. It's a great opportunity to meet other international students, make new friends, explore other cultures, and see the New York City area. The International Student Organization, or ISO, does a lot of activities that you can be a part of, from day trips into New York City to longer weekend trips to other cities on the East Coast, like Philadelphia, Boston, and Washington, D.C. The club also hosts cultural dinners, takes students to Broadway shows and Yankee games, and participates in community service and volunteering projects. The International Student Organization's first meeting is usually the second week of classes. Thank you for listening to this presentation. If you have any other additional questions, please always feel free to reach out to me. My email address, which I'll show on the next slide, is lbistany, B-I-S-T-A-N-Y, at sunymaritime.edu. My phone number for my office is 409-1585. Looking forward to seeing you on campus later this year.